I'm Madison and today I am here with a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Sure. Susie Stec. I'm the Economic Development Coordinator for the City of Clawson.
And we are here today to talk about businesses in Clawson. I have a list in front of me of all the new businesses that were opened here in Clawson just in 2018, and I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about who's come to Clawson so far, who's going to be coming soon, all that fun stuff.
Sure. Well, we've had quite a diverse array of businesses that have come to Clawson this year and in the last few years. The most noticeable ones are the restaurants, right? We've got Zioli's, which just opened a few months ago, which is delicious.
I still need to get there.
Oh my gosh, yes, it's delicious. They did a fabulous job on the inside of that building. You'd never know that it was half of regeneration at one point, right? So we've got Zioli's that just opened. We've got Salt and Sugar, which is also, I mean, that's created quite the following, I'd say, here even just in City Hall, right? So we've got Salt and Sugar, and that's, that one's kind of, I'm fond of both of them, but that one's nice because they've bounced around a few different places in the area, and they started off as a food truck. So it is, it's good to see the evolution of a business and then being able to find a successful place to stay, right? So, and then we've also had, we've got some more interesting sort of creative businesses. We've got Sacred Wave Gong Immersion. Oh. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
No, I have not.
Me neither, until they came. And apparently, so the gentleman that owns this establishment, he actually makes gongs.
Really? That's super cool.
I know. I realize it's a musical instrument, and so therefore it has to be made somehow, but apparently it's a really big deal. Really? So he moved earlier this summer over to Rochester Road. So that's probably one of the more never knew type of business. But we also have Haberman Fabrics, which that was a huge score for the city of Clawson. And the family that purchased Haberman's they're doing amazingly well over there. It's always a challenge, when you're relocating.
Right, exactly.
A very established building or a very established business to a new location. There's always kind of that, oh my gosh, are we going to be, are they still going to find us?
Right, but they're
are we still? They took one of the city's biggest eyesores, big eyesores, and they are, they've transformed the main floor into a great space for them, and then they are working to come up with some really good plans for the second floor. Wow. And they've been toying with the idea of Fashion on 14.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Right? They've got all kinds, they've got such a large draw. Truly like a mega regional draw. Right. Like from very far up north to, Indiana and Ohio. It's a big reach, and so they've got people coming in like, when are you going to do classes? Or, they've got Detroit-based designers that are coming in and saying, I would love to do some space design, do design space, runway space. Oh my gosh, the possibilities are
amazing.
Endless down there. And actually their neighbor, Noble Appliance, they opened within a few months of each other, but those two properties right there represented two of the biggest eyesores in the city that had been vacant for pushing 10 years at least. So to get both of those properties sold and operational within such a relatively short period of time is pretty fantastic. So other new businesses that we have, we've got a bunch of different offices that have come in. We've got a new group, Traffic Digital Agency. They're down on South Main, and they are a web-based marketing firm, and they are mostly national, right? Lots of little satellite offices. So they've moved there. We've got an engineering firm that moved in, MEP Engineering. They moved into an old building across from City Hall. We've got another engineering group that they have located. They've got some space up in the Hofmaster building, which was a new business from 3 years ago, which has totally transformed that space as well. So that's kind of nice to see some synergies building there. Let's see, who else do we have? We've got another one actually up on Maple is Osaka Japanese Steakhouse, which that one, that has been a long time coming. Yeah. It's been a few years, but it's happily open and doing well. So, yeah, we've had quite a few.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And then there's a list of some businesses that are coming soon. So, would you like to talk about one or two of them?
Sure. Well, we have. Let's see. They're really good ones though. I want to talk about them all because. So we have probably the one that's it's like a tie for who's gonna be coming up first is Billings Lawn Service. Another one that was in Royal Oak. Not too far from Haberman's, their last location, and ironically enough, they're not going to be too far from Haberman's at their new location. So they're going into Clawson Center. Okay. Right. So they're building out their space now. I'm eagerly anticipating their opening. Mm-hmm. Hopefully by the holidays. That would be my guess, right? I mean, it makes sense, you know. Try and get all that built out so you can welcome your customers to a new location right before the holidays,
That'd be
right?
Nice, that'd be great.
So, so that's exciting. But then we also have this group called Nor Technologies, and there's no way I can describe exactly what they do and really do them justice because it's kind of over my head, but it sounds amazing. So they have commercial drones, and it's specifically geared towards architects, engineers, and the construction industry, right? So they're not just like, it's not just a hobby drone that you could go and get at Costco and just like kind of fly around your backyard. I mean, these are like full scale, like very heavy duty drones. Yeah. So they have that, and then they do all the software for that training and really managing all of it. And then they also have, in addition to their drones, they have these 3D scanners that sound just like amazing. Like plop it in the middle of the room, and it just takes a digital scan.
That's wild.
And gets within like millimeters of accuracy, which is huge. I mean, that's kind of the bread and butter, at least the way I kind of understand architecture and engineering, like the design process. And that's
incredible.
That's super amazing. So they've only actually, they've been in business for 8 years, and so now they've gone to a point where they're expanding and growing, and so Clawson is now going to be their world headquarters. I mean, they are international too, much like with Haberman's with the mega regional draw. They have a similar draw of clientele. I mean, I think they said when we were at Planning Commission that they have 80% of the market for architecture, engineering, and construction services. So that's pretty huge for a 3-state region, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
So they are, and they're going to be going into the former Toto building. So that has also been vacant for quite some time. So it'll be nice to see exactly what they're going, how their plan is going to.
Yeah, they sound super cool. All this tech. I'm like, wow.
Right? Okay. I know. They have. So we have another really cool. I mean, not that these. They could be new this year. They're starting to all mesh into each other. But there is. We do have a virtual reality.
Oh wow.
Tech firm that is in. It is in the 2-story building next to Denang.
Okay. Oh,
right.
Wow. Okay.
So they have Deep Canvas is the name of that particular firm. So they used to be where there's a group called 24G. They relocated up to Thunderbird. So Deep Canvas has that space. And actually Deep Canvas, hopefully they stay, because one of our upcoming businesses probably won't happen until later next year is Weiss Distillery, and they bought that 2-story building and the 1-story building next to it. They're going to demolish that 1-story building, and they're building a 2-story. I mean, it's going to be one open concept, right? It's just why it's going to be one floor, but they're going to have a distillery there, so they're going to be making vodka, gin, whiskey, and then they're going to have a speakeasy to get in there, right? Like full on, like knock code, whatever. And so the space that they're gonna have their guard there, or however however they're gonna do it. I imagine a big guard standing. What's the password? But they're gonna have that space also be some sort of. The concept is pop-up something. So it could be pop-up retail, it could be pop-up gallery space. The owner is very creative, and he's got lots of really good ideas for that space, but that'll be really neat. So they'll have their speakeasy and their tasting room. So yeah, they're probably construction and all that stuff is probably not going to happen. Probably won't be open until next summer, late summer is my guess, but hopefully I'm wrong.
Sure.
The big one for next year is going to be Mike's Savoy. They took an old AT&T spot on Crooks Road, and they're not making. It may seem like they're not making really significant changes to the building facade. I mean, they are. They can paint and kind of spruce it up. And, the bulk of what they're doing is in the back. So, I mean, you can even drive by right now, and there's trucks and excavators and just, it's a full-on construction site, right? And they are completely redoing their lot. It's going to be, so this is going to be where they bring all the new cars that have already been purchased, right? And basically finish them. So, a new car gets shipped with run-of-the-mill, nothing fancy tires, more of a spare tire kind of thing. So this is, they'll put on the right tires and do some minor finishing for that. And they are completely redoing the inside. So this is huge for lots of reasons, but they're putting almost $3 million into the property. And because it was owned by AT&T, they were tax exempt.
Okay, wow.
It's not tax exempt anymore. So now this is brand new. This is brand new revenue for the city, right?
Yeah.
So everybody, lots of communities that chase that kind of call them greenfield developments. You're building out into a field. It's automatic brand new tax revenue. We don't really have that, right? We don't have any space. So this is pretty huge. This is like a greenfield development. Okay. But it's not, because it's already there. so that'll be probably early spring. Okay. Is my guess on that one. So it's a lot of really new businesses coming in.
That is a lot, but that's wonderful to hear.
Isn't it though?
Yes.
It kind of strikes me. I mean, that's we'll call it 24 businesses, right? New businesses for 2018. And what blows my mind is that we've had a similar pattern of development for the last few years. And we're down to less than 24 properties. Okay, wow. Available for most of the properties in the city are only available for lease. I mean, we have a few that are for sale. But yeah, we don't have a lot. We're down to I don't want to say close to 4%. Okay. So that's a really good number for such a small community, right?
So if there's any businesses out there looking to relocate or open up, what would draw them to Clawson? Why would you recommend Clawson?
Well, I think one of the things, obviously there's, people are kind of discovering Clawson. They're just I didn't know you guys existed, which is silly to me, but I've been coming here since I was a kid, right? So, I definitely think people are drawn to the small town for starters, and I think really once they start talking to people. I mean, my perspective is obviously gonna be through City Hall, but I think they're pleasantly surprised with how helpful everyone genuinely is. You know, it's not, we take an approach to business development and just commercial development in general. We take a very hands-on approach. Mm-hmm. You know, I walk them through the process, start to finish, even sometimes like, well, pre-start, you know, like, just here's my idea, what do you think, like, is this gonna work, like, how do I figure out, is this a good idea, is this not a good idea? You know, I've got an individual that I've been working with for like 2 months now, about, you know, she's got a couple different ideas for different properties, and we've just been fleshing out those ideas. Mm-hmm. So I think we take a far more hands-on approach to making things happen. And as part of that, we have we call it the development team. So it's myself, our planning consultant, our building official, our director of engineering services, and our engineering consultant, and, you know, at times police and fire, you know, whomever really needs to be involved. And we will sit down with a prospective business owner and say, these are all the things that we know about this particular property that you're interested in. This is the process that you will need to go through to get, you know, to open your business. What else do you need to know? What other questions do you have? And, you know, to be able to sit down with them, with that property owner, business owner, with all the rest of those people, it's not very common, right? It's hard to juggle those schedules. It's hard to even know what kind of questions at times to ask. So I think from the business startup perspective, I think that's probably one of the reasons why people are interested in Clawson. We are still far more affordable than you know, some of our neighboring communities. And there is, even for businesses that are not in the downtown core, those businesses are still encouraged to have that as a destination. Like, one of the things that NOR Technologies said when we were meeting with them, and yes, they are downtown, but they were up in Troy, and they were saying, you know, Clawson's like a little Google campus, right? You can do your training here, and you can go to a variety of destinations, all within walking distance. And, you know, that was one of the things that they loved. They sent a test case. They talked about it with their planning commission. They had clients from Cincinnati. And they came, and they you know, they're still up in their Troy location, but they drove them down here and dropped them off. They're like, walk, tell us what you think. This is going to be our new headquarters. We would like your perspective. And they were like, this place is awesome. Like, oh my gosh, there's this place and this place. We can walk here, we can walk there. We could have sushi, we could have beer, we could have Italian. You know, I mean, they went through the whole 9 yards, and like, this place is great. Right. So I think that's one of the things that I think that starts to draw them in, right? Like, we like this little downtown. Let's see more of this downtown, and then they start talking to people like, yes, this is a good place to call home. Okay. Well, it makes a lot of sense. Clawson's great. And I'm so excited to see it expanding and growing. It's wonderful. I know, right? Is there anything else you'd like to add? You gave us some great information. Oh, I know, there is a lot of great information. I will say, even though most of these places aren't retail, shop small Saturday. It's, I'm gonna blank on the date, but, you know, it's after Black Friday. So my recommendation is shop at as many of our Clawson businesses as you possibly can, and those that you can't shop at, dine at, because there's so many wonderful things. And if you can't shop or dine there, then engage in that service, right? So we've got brand new flower shop, we've got a couple different CrossFit places, we've got places that need your business, that are happy to have your business, and we should all be supporting them.
Definitely. All right, well, thank you so much for all this great information.
Thank
it was
you for having me.
wonderful to
Yes.
talk to you.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we'll have you on again soon.
Sounds fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you.